When you need her, she'll know what to do and she'll be there for you. Where you will lead her, there's nothing Adele couldn't think of to do. She's all you ever needed in the wrong situation. You're caught in the middle, no way of escaping. Till out of the blue she runs into you. There's nothing that she couldn't do. She's the travel counselor.
Problem is that we're fighting so much now, and I know it's my fault, or I know I'm causing the problems more than it being my fault. It just seems like everything we say to each other is just needling the other person, just antagonising them. But yeah, I'm not really sure what I can do to change that, because I'm just so short-tempered with everybody in the family. It often just blows out from nothing, and then I end up just basically running away. It's almost childish, you know. I justify it by saying to myself that I'm leaving the situation to stop the fight escalating. Maybe I'm just running away.
Sounds like it's been a really tough week for you. It really does. But you know, Liam, I'm not surprised to hear this, that's the type of week that you've had. Just think about everything that you've put yourself through for the past few weeks talking to me. You've opened up the can of worms, probably things that you didn't think you would talk about, and it's been locked away for so long, and now suddenly you're bringing it to the surface again. So it's only natural that your body's going to be a little bit unsettled.
Dangerous as this. How many times have I told you to put your bike away?
What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm not doing anything.
Liam? Liam, where are you?
I'm around the back.
First, just sorry, Thomas, come and help me lift this
I'm
shop.
coming. Hang on a minute.
What are you doing?
No, I'm doing nothing.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think you've got to give yourself a bit of a break and just allow yourself to go through this time, and explain to your wife the type of things that you've been talking about. You don't have to tell her everything if you don't want to, but if you just let her know that you've been bringing things up to the surface and it's made you feel a little bit unsettled, and that you may need some time alone or just a little bit extra understanding from them, so maybe they can just be I don't really mean them to step on eggshells around you, but just be that little bit more sensitive and just a little bit more careful while you're going through this phase. And I'm more than happy to ring her up as well, and I can have a bit of a talk to her if that's what she wants, because maybe I can give her some strategies on how to support you through this time, okay? Because and your son, have you sorted things out with him after the...
I mean, he's he's a mid-teen type thing, and he's establishing himself as a person, you know,
Yes.
that stuff. But we are
Yeah.
like two rams, you know. I know I'm out of line at times. I know I'm really hard on him. But, you know, I also need to still have him respect me
Yeah.
as a father.
Yeah.
But I can see that respect, I might not have necessarily earned it in some of my actions, but I still need him to actually toe the line. So, you know.
And that's why parenting teenagers can be really tricky, because they're going to go through their adolescent phases, and it's just extra tough on the parents because they're always got to be on top of them.
Yeah.
But that, for you, it's a little bit more complicated at the moment because you're opening up a can of worms that, you know, all these raw emotions are starting to come to the surface. So maybe you can talk to your family about it and just say that, you know, if they see you're starting to get a bit agitated, to maybe just give you a little bit of space because you're going to need that extra nurturing at the moment. And maybe you need to, I remember a couple of sessions ago you told me how you're an outdoorsy type person and you've stopped doing that. So maybe pick one thing that you can do during the week while the kids are at school and your wife is at work. Maybe there's something you can do, rock climbing, or go to one of those centres where you can do the indoor rock climbing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know, or something that you can do just for yourself. Yep. And rock climbing is kind of good. I like that because you're climbing up and you're climbing out of the dark hole. Maybe you can mentally tell yourself something like that.
It's almost like a metaphor, isn't it, really?
Exactly.
I hadn't thought of it that way. It's a good activity in that you have to be so in the moment to do it, and you're you're facing fears and stuff, and it's sort of actually meshes in with everything I'm feeling like we're doing too. So because by not doing the things that you love doing, the outdoorsy stuff, you're kind of losing a bit of yourself. Yeah. And you're just being the dad, you're just being the husband, and your wife too. Maybe there's times you need to have just husband and wife time together without the children, just have time to connect, and maybe have some one-on-one time with the boys as well and do connection stuff, and then just have time to yourself as well to do stuff that you enjoy doing. That's the one thing I don't do. You know, we're trying to work on the relationship thing, but I don't, because I think to myself, particularly midweek, I think this is self-indulgent. I should be trying to get a job, you know.
Oh, okay. So you guilt.
Yeah.
Remember that was on your list.
Yep.
Everybody has got a right to do something for themselves. I do. I do stuff on my own as well. I've got my commitments, and that's okay.
She's a travel counselor. She's a travel counselor.
I should be processing the drinking in the same way that I process doing something else self-indulgent, because
replace it.
Yeah, I'm replacing it, but I don't say to myself, "Oh, this is self-indulgent."
Yeah,
drinking
there you go. That's interesting.
Where it is, and if I was genuine about, if I was truthful to myself, I would treat that the exact same way and go, "Well, that is self-indulgent doing that."
Yeah.
If you're going to do something self-indulgent, go do something that's positive.
There you go.
Yeah.
One of the ways to change, of heading towards change, is by that seed developing in your brain. So what you just said, keep trying to remember that point there, and replace it with a positive and healthier way to deal with things. Yeah. So maybe you can even do something with your biological mum. Would you be willing? Do you do things with her?
I sort of wanted to tell you this before, but in one of the other sessions, but we went down another path that we don't really have a relationship anymore.
Oh no.
Which obviously hurts and is hard, because I spent so much time and effort building that up, and it was the stupidest thing. Hey, g'day. How's it going? How's the footy? Go Pies!
I'm not interested.
What do you mean?
You don't get it.
It's only football, it's a game.
You ruined my life.
Pardon?
I don't even want to see you. Get out of my life.
I was gobsmacked. You know, I just
So
didn't-
she took that joke way too seriously.
yeah, and ended the relationship based on just a throwaway joke about football. I love my football, but is it worth breaking up with a family member over when it's a nothing thing?
Have you tried to talk to her, or did you try?
At the time, I bit my tongue because I wanted to say, "How dare you? That's absolutely out of line," and all the rest. So I took a day just to compose my thoughts,
Yeah.
and I processed it, and I couldn't see anything in what she was doing apart from her running away from her own problems, i.e. me. I've become a problem because I'm too emotionally engaging for her. So I wrote a really measured and heartfelt email outlining how it made me feel, not in an aggressive way, just saying how hurt I was.
Yeah.
And hopefully we could go forward from that, and nothing ever happened. She ignored it. I sent her another email on the 1 year anniversary of that, saying I'm surprised that in a year you haven't thought about it and come to the conclusion that really you overreacted about something that was nothing. But what I'm going to do is send you a letter every year just to tell you how your grandsons are going.
Oh, is that what you do?
That's what I did it 1 year, and then I just, after a couple of years, I was too heartbroken. And I know that this has damaged me in a way that is causing problems at home, because my wife pointed it out that you were kicking goals in life and now you're struggling.
Wow.
So that
That's
crushed me.
the same, the rejection again, isn't it? Your mum kind of separated from you for the second time.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing that with me. I know that these stories are really painful, and I can see in your face how hard and how hurtful that was for you. And I'm really sorry that happened. But yeah, I do appreciate that you're really getting it out there. Okay. I don't know. I'm just thinking about your mum, because you know, I know you could be blaming yourself, and that's why. Remember when you told me about depression, you felt guilty, and you know you probably are blaming yourself. I don't know if you're thinking, what did I do wrong? Why did she give me up again? Why, you know, maybe all these negative thoughts. But maybe having you back in her life just brought her too much pain, and if she's not getting the help that say you're getting, it's too confronting for her, and maybe this is just her way of processing, and maybe things have come up to the surface for her that's confusing her, and she doesn't know what to do with it all, and she's not getting the help to talk about it. But I imagine she may be feeling a lot of things as well.
She's a travel counselor. She's a travel counselor.
All right, so I'm going to do a little activity with you, if you're okay to do it. Yeah. I want you to. This is going to help us to think outside the square. It's going to help you disattach that everything is your fault. Okay. It's called narrative therapy. All right. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and remember you're in a safe place. All right. I want you to pretend that you are your biological mother. So you're not Liam right now. I want you to picture what your hair would look like, and picture one of the clothing that she used to wear, and now you're wearing, and you are mum. Okay, open your eyes. Okay, so now that you're thinking like her, why do you think you cannot face Liam?
Because I don't have the emotional maturity to be a parent in a way I didn't get the opportunity to, in a natural timeline or organic way. You know, I gave up my baby moments after he was born. The only thing that I got to do that I'm pleased with the whole situation was I asked if I could hold him in the car trip from the hospital to the baby home, and the sisters actually allowed that. So that's not how people become parents. You know, they have the joy of birth, the pain of birth, the joy of birth, and then the development. And I'm a parent as an adult, pain. I don't know how to do it.
When you look into Liam's eyes, what do you see?
His father and my mother. His father who died before he was born, and my mother who made me give him up. Give both of them up.
How do you feel about it?
Resentful and angry.
Towards who?
Everybody.
And how do you feel directly about letting go of Liam?
I felt like I had no say in the matter, and so I don't know how to feel about that otherwise. I had no say. I was just told, did as I was told, and I was a child, and I don't know, just that.
Do you ever think of that you could have done anything different?
I didn't have any say in the matter. I just... Well, my mum, and the priests, and the nuns, they said, this is what you're doing now, this is what happens, and give him up. And the nuns told me after Liam was born, forget that and move on with life. That didn't happen. How can they say that?
So if you could turn back time and you did have control, what would you do?
I'd stand up to him, but I had nothing to stand up to. I lived at home. My grandmother, my mum's mother, her husband, this was in the Depression, her husband went off to work, find work in the countryside, and didn't come back for like 5 years. And when he came back, there was 4 extra kids in the house. And when I got pregnant, the first thing my mum said to me was, it's happening again. She had such shame of her own mum that then she was seeing it in her daughter. So I had no say. Like, you know, if I stood up to her, they'd kick me out of the house. What was I going to do?
Okay. Do you think Liam is a bad person?
No, but he's not good for me. I don't think I need him in my life because there's too many memories. I told him that. Way too many memories. All that morning sickness and all that, the birth and all the people just taking him away from me, me not having any control. He's not a bad person, but he's just not good for me.
Is it Liam's fault?
Of course not. No, no one asked to be born.
That's right. That's right. Liam, now I'm talking to you. It is not your fault. None of this is your fault at all. None of it.
I know.
And I know part of you knows it, but part of you doesn't feel it. Okay? None of this is your fault. You were, you know what? And there were amazing things about you coming into the world. There were amazing things that happened. You found the love of your life. Yeah, you might have emotional breakdowns with each other at times, but you guys, the general love is still there. And you work together, and your wife, she's amazing. She supports you. She knows you're hurting. Okay. And you've developed 2 beautiful boys. You did that together. You didn't let your history destroy you. It hurts you. You had unresolved issues there, but you didn't let it break you.
Almost.
Almost. But that strength that you had took over, and you got through it, and you're doing the best you can to make something good of your life and your family's life. With or without parents, you were born into this earth, onto this earth for a reason, and you're an awesome person. You've got to believe that.
After all the searching and insecurities of life, I'm just so glad that we finally met and we've got this together now. You know?
You've got no idea what I've been through. You know, I was put in a convent and I was treated so badly by the nuns. You know, I'd sit there of a night time and look at my belly, I would hate you so much for what you'd done to me. I sometimes wonder what my life could have been like. But it's never gone anywhere.
You can't blame that on me. I mean, you're talking about the baby that was me, and
it's a baby that's ruined my life.
I don't know what to say.
There's nothing you can say to make things better. Nothing.